Well, once the landscape design has been completed, it's time to print, and it's best to print from layout space. And here's an example. I have a tab at the bottom of the screen here, a layout tab called A3 Landscape Plan. So it's a matter then of going File and Print. In earlier days it was called Plot, but print and plot are now used synonymously. And your next step is to change to the printer. Now if you had, say this is an A3, if you had an A3 printer attached to this computer, it would appear in the drop down list here, but I don't have one, I've only got an A4, so I'm going to select Qt PDF Writer and I'll adjust my paper size to A3. I could go in this way via Properties and Advanced and check things in here. That will give me more options, but A3 is fine. It's now been selected, but I can change the print quality if that was important to you. Color is on, so I can say OK. The next step is to select the page orientation, which in this case is of course landscape. We can go OK. Now the next steps are very important. Notice scale here says 1.0282 to 1. That's because we've got this fit to paper option on. Now in layout space, whenever we are interested in printing a drawing such as this accurately to scale, I'll show you in a moment that the viewport that you see in white just hanging over the edge of the sheet, a scale has been fixed there in the viewport. But I'm now going to center the print. So everything's now ready. I've selected paper. Everything is ready to go. I'll cancel from there and just show you. If we come back here, pick that viewport, look over in the properties box, we've got a view scale. I've typed a value in there of 100 and I've fixed the scale. So as far as printing is concerned, down in the box down here I'm saying scale is 1 to 100 at A3. That means that the resultant PDF file that we're going to generate here could in fact be printed on any size piece of paper, let's say an A2 sheet, printed off at say a copy center, and if someone's trying to work from it, they'll get accurate values because there's an internal scale here, the north point of course, but the scale says 1 to 100 at an A3 sheet, and sheet sizes mention A3, so clearly if someone picks up an A2 sheet, there's going to be a warning. And you might also add text to a drawing that you shouldn't scale off a drawing, that dimensions in the drawing take precedence. And what I've done here is I've selected this viewport and I've in fact turned off dimensions, but the dimensions are there, and I'll cancel from there and escape again. I'll go to constructors plant list. That gives me just a short list, but I want the client plant list. What I'm after is A1 construction, and there you can see the dimensions are showing. So we're ringing the changes according to layers and according to need here. Let's turn back to A3 and just complete that print. So it's file and print. Just to remind you, take off fit to paper. Make sure you have a correct PDF writer, in this case selected. We're going to center the print 1 to 1, and when printed out, that will be an exact scale on the sheet. It'll be 1 to 100 on an A3 sheet. So I hope that demystifies printing just a little.